curls are done. I just gotta put the plates away. Only there were a better way.
If you're looking for an easier way to load your deadlift, but you don't want to go out and spend the money to buy a deadlift jack, we are going to show you how to take this 2 by 12 by, I think this is 8 feet long piece of wood, and turn it into what we lovingly refer to as the fishhook jack. Tyler's going to show us how it's done. All right, Tyler, what are we doing here?
We are taking a super critical measurement of the distance from the floor to the underside of the bar. Looks like it's just under 8.5 inches. So we'll remember 8.5. Phil, what was that number we had to remember?
8.5. Just under 9.
Very good. So I do 8.5 inches, and I add 1, which you're a math teacher. It'd be 9.5.
9.5. There we go.
So I make a mark and 9.5, and that is going to be the bottom of where we want the bar to rest. So when you pick up the fish hook, the bar will sit right there.
Okay, so we're making a mark 9.5 inches in from the end.
And from there, you just kind of draw out your fish hook. I'm going to freehand it.
Okay. Freehand a fishhook.
A few notes about the drawing here. This board is 8 feet long. We're actually only going to use about 4 feet, and even in that 4 feet, we're going to get 2 deadlift jacks out of this. So Tyler's actually drawing 2 deadlift jacks here. The shape will make a little bit more sense when you can see the entire project, and he'll explain it here in a moment. He's already drawn it with pencil, and he's going back over it with red Sharpie so it's a little bit more visible on the camera. After he has the shapes about 90% drawn, he's going to go ahead and take a 2-inch hole saw and drill a hole. This hole is going to be where the barbell actually sits in the jack. Once that hole is drilled, he's going to take the Sharpie again and finish up the drawing. That plug may be still stuck inside the hole saw, so you may have to take a hammer and a screwdriver and pound it out like Tyler does here.
Remember, folks, safety third.
If you are actually making 2 deadlift jacks, then of course the next task is to simply drill out the hole on the other jack as well.
You want to describe what we're looking at here for people who've never seen this type of deadlift jack before?
Absolutely. So there's actually 2 deadlift jacks right here, trying to economize and save on wood. This is the hook part that will hook around the barbell.
Okay.
This is 9.5 inches, which is 1 greater than the 8.5 we remembered from before.
So the bar will sit 1 inch off the floor.
Correct.
When the plates are on it.
Yes.
When it's on the jack.
Yep.
Okay.
So this hooks onto the bar, and this portion rolls over. This will be sitting on the floor, and you use right here is the handle that you use to lever the bar off the ground. Okay. And then there's a second jack right here, and that way we can fit 2 into a 4-foot space.
This is like a tessellation.
It is.
Yes. Very cool. And we'll demo this at the end so you guys can see how this works.
Once you're done with the hole saw, the next step is to get out the jigsaw and start cutting along the lines that you've drawn.
Now you'll notice that I'm leaving the red line on here. It's because I have terrible aim.
Now, terrible aim or not, Tyler brings up a good point, and that is this is not exactly a precision project. We've seen versions of this on the web that are basically just a 2x4 with a notch cut in it. The key part is you want the bottom of that hole to be 8.5 inches and then some off the ground, which is why we've placed it at 9.5 inches. As long as you've got that covered so that the bar gets up off the floor when you use the jack, then you're good to go and you've got some room for some creativity or errors depending on your interpretation.
We're going to trim this up a little bit, but this is pretty much a deadlift jack.
That'll lift your barbell.
That's right.
And so with one deadlift jack cut out, Tyler moves on to the next deadlift jack and starts cutting along the lines again to finish that one up as well. Now you'll notice that the bottom of this deadlift jack has a very nice rounded shape. That actually ends up being a little bit of a problem, this part of the jack right here. You actually want a little bit of a flat spot on the bottom so that the jack balances well. We'll address how to solve this problem a bit later in the video.
Lovely.
Now, Tyler, we're going to clean these up a little bit, and by that I mean you're probably going to clean these up a little bit. But were we to stop right here, would someone have a serviceable deadlift jack?
Let's go find out. It works.
So one of the things that we noticed with the jack that Tyler just used, which is this very nicely rounded one, is that it was actually a little bit too round, so it jacked the bar up just fine, but it didn't stay put when we let go. Unlike this one, which works just fine because it's got a nice flat spot on the bottom. So Tyler's going to fix this one now and make it have a flatter spot here on the bottom.
Tyler is first going to make a mark 8.5 inches from the bottom of the slot where the barbell sits. He's then going to take the other deadlift jack, but you could use any straight edge if you're trying to fix this problem. Put it on that 8.5 inch mark and then slide it even further down, which he does right here. So that again, we want more than 8.5 inches of clearance. This ensures that the barbell will get up off the floor, that the plates will get up off the floor when you're using the deadlift jack. He's now going to use the bottom edge of the other jack as a straight edge. He'll rotate it here so you can see it. He'll take the red Sharpie, he'll draw a straight edge on there, a straight line on there, and then we'll simply use the jigsaw to cut that line. After that, he uses the jigsaw to trim off a little bit of the handle, and then it's on to the sanding. This is easily the longest part of the project, so we cut out a good portion of it. Tyler is using a belt sander here. You could use other sanding methods as well, but the belt sander does a nice job of making pretty quick work of the entire project.
So here we have one of the finished jacks. Now we'll try it out.
As you can see here, the deadlift jack works great. It raises the bar high enough up off the ground that you can load or unload your deadlift very easily, and it provides a nice storage spot for your collar. Also, if you're looking for a more step-by-step guide to a jack like this, get in touch with Matthew Moore, a starting strength coach who builds some absolutely beautiful deadlift jacks. He's got full-scale plans and templates available for you, and if you're really interested, he might even be available for some custom work. So be sure to check out his work on Instagram, and we will provide his Instagram handle in the description below this video.
It should be noted that one nice feature of this style of jack is that you can entirely unload one side of the bar and the bar does not flip. If you've got a commercial deadlift jack where it's got hooks on both sides of the bar, you can't do that. You're gonna have to unload the bar in a kind of even fashion, one plate at a time. But this one, you can completely unload from one side, you're good to go. If this was helpful, please let us know. Hit the subscribe button or leave a comment below. Give us a thumbs up. Feel free to check out any of our other videos and we will see you next time. Hope this helps.